we're going to look at two different ways that we can define circles in GeoGebra. So again, I started by going to www.geogebra.org. On the home screen here, I click Start GeoGebra, and then I click Geometry. So on my canvas here, the first thing I'm going to do is give myself 2 points. Okay, and this first way that we are going to look at that we can define a circle is looking at the circle menu, which is just about the middle button in the set of tools up here. The top line says circle with center through point, and specifically the gray box tells us that we first select the center point, then the point on the circle. So I'm going to start by saying this is my center and this is a point on the circle. Okay, so if I use my move arrow, I can move the center. It will change the size of it unless I also kind of pull in the point that's on the circle. But it's going to always retain those definitions. This left one will always be the center, this right point will always be on the circle. Now, one specific application of this definition that you may have seen before can occur when we want a pair of circles with a special relationship to each other. Specifically, I want to make another circle with center through point, and I just want to reverse the definitions. I want this to be my center and this to be a point on my circle. So now I have a pair of circles with a very special relationship to each other. Think about how we know that the distance from here to here is the radius of the left circle, but it's also the radius of the right-hand circle. Think about how all the radii of a circle are always the same length. And think about how that could be the basis for starting with this pair of circles defined this special way, or how we might be able to then construct a couple of geometric objects we've studied this semester that are defined as having congruent segments. Okay, so that's an investigation I'll let you reflect on your own. We're going to then look at a second way that we can define circles in GeoGebra. So I'm going to close this out and get a new canvas. This time I'm going to use a segment to define my radius. And I'm going to give myself a couple different points to be centers of 3 different circles. Going back to the circle menu, this time I'm going to go to the third line that says compass, and the gray box tells us I can select a segment or 2 points for the radius, and then I select the center point. So I'm going to select this segment as my radius, and I'm going to select this as my center point, and then I'll repeat, same radius, different center, and just for fun, same radius, third center. So I have 3 circles that are all congruent. Now here what I can do with the move arrow, if I change the length of the segment that I defined as my radius, notice how it impacts all of my circles. So they are all going to change size at the exact same rate because they all have the same definition of radius here. So that can sometimes be useful if you want to define 2 lengths to be congruent. They aren't necessarily contiguous. You can use this kind of a circle definition to get congruent lengths. So those 2 definitions of circle will take you through a lot of situations and hopefully will serve you well in completing the investigations that we're doing this semester.